Suresh Gandham, a coastal Telugu Hindu who has personally experienced downward evolution for 30 years. The situation on the ground is much worse. If our observations are discounted, then how will the correction happen?
So
Short
he's
answers,
agreeing
please.
with me that the conversion problem is far worse. Remember, I don't even do ground visits anymore because it's so disheartening. Uh, uh, I'm telling you, the conversion problem in this belt is next level. It's truly next level. Exactly what Suresh Gandham is saying. And if our observations are discounted, well, that is why Hindus are going to dig the grave of Hinduism. They are a good news society. They never want to hear bad news. They think all bad news is bad information. It is malignant. It is only good news that is. You go tell an Indian, India greatest country on earth. They'll be like, oh, Banjud, yeah, bale, 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 bale. You tell them India's a
Let's have short
shithole.
answers,
Oh,
otherwise,
you're
we'll
just so
be here
negative.
for another 1 hour.
Yeah.
Vibhuti, if you surmise that Hinduism will cease to exist within the next century, why your short shrift to Hindu trad POV? If anything, it's the trad way that will help us recover the lost glory of Hinduism.
It is exactly your point of view, Vibhuti, that will destroy Hinduism. You simply haven't been listening to either this conversation or the original podcast that religions need to evolve. We no longer perform the Ashwamedha Yajna. We no longer perform the Purushamedha Yajna. We no longer worship Indra, Varuna, Vayu, and all those people except as lip service. Our temples are not to Indra, Varuna, Vayu. They are to Shiva, Vishnu, Brahma. Where did that come about? Through evolution. You are talking like a Salafist. You are talking exactly like Abu Bakr Baghdadi does, saying that the glory of Islam can come not by embracing technology and moving forward, but by going back to the Rashidun Caliphate. All these people who talk of Ram Rajya, they are no different from Salafis who want to go back to the Rashidun Caliphate. Remember, it is an ossified, mentally dead society that looks at the past. All dynamic societies find the path of least resistance and they look forward. Have you ever heard of any wealthy Christian country talking about, we need to go back to the early church fathers? They talk about the coming of Christ, but they don't talk about going back to the early Christianity ever. Think why, but they used to. They used to a lot. Till they all became first world countries. Now even redneck white American Christians in Louisiana or Memphis, Tennessee don't say that anymore. You are part of the problem, Vibhuti. Congratulations to you.
Next. Shishir Vishwakarma. Well, Abhijit mentioned South Korea, China, Japan, Christians are increasing, but in India we have people like Asaram who are learning from missionary and reconverting. What you both think?
Yes, Asaram Bapu was very important, and that is, I believe, that is why he got sent to jail. Best of luck to you. If you're very successful against the Christians, you'll end up in jail. Or if you're very successful at reconverting Christians, like Swami Lakhanananda, who got chopped up to little pieces, that is what happens to you. This is what happens to people who reconvert. Where is Asaram Bapu today? Where is Swami Lakhanananda today? Huh? So best of luck. This is what irritates me about Modi. He's refusing to protect
Asim Anand also.
Trust me, all of them are going to go to jail one by one. Not for crimes they committed, but for crimes they did not commit.
Oh well, but we don't have the Roman Empire anymore. Aniruddha Vachaspati.
The Roman Empire was more effective at delivering goods and services in 50 BC than the government of India is in bloody 2021 AD.
I'm talking of the UPA 1 and UPA 2, the different Roman Empire.
Acha, Aniruddha Vachaspati. Aim,
And
Hindu
the
temples were
Vachaspati,
better off
Hindu temples were
Mughals.
better off under Mughals. Did Mughal state have the
They
tools
do
to trace these far-flung lands? Who should current state hand off temples to any individual Hindu institutions to manage?
manage. Okay, 1 second. So please keep this question on screen. Don't remove it till I answer all three parts. Were temples better off under Mughals? Uh, the institutions were better off surprisingly under Mughals than they were under the government of India since 1947. Okay, the physical structure of the temples is better off under the government of India post 1947 than it was under the Mughals. Why? Because the Mughals saw it as cash cows. Okay, so they'd go seize the wealth every now and then and smash the temples. Okay, sometimes you were allowed to rebuild, mostly you were not allowed to rebuild, but the lands remained. Okay, the disenfranchisement has been total. The government of India did more effectively across the length and breadth of India what no Mughal emperor, not even Aurangzeb, was able to do. The only thing Aurangzeb did better was smash murtis and temples. Okay, so yes, as an institution they were better. As a structure, they are not better. Under the Mughals. Did the Mughal state have tools to trace these far-flung lands? No, they did not. Precisely the point I was making. They did not, because they were a feudatory state. All right, gunpowder empire, but still a feudatory state. They remained feudatory. This was the conversation that Sanjay ji and I did on the nature of Islamic politics, which never moved on past the the feudal zamindar system, which is why it is still a kind of an ossified polity in that sense. Third, who should the current state hand off temples to? And whoever the owner was prior to. Who did you nationalize it from? Give it back to them. Bus. When people want to thwart change, they tend to over intellectualize a problem and say, and this is how Australia continues to remain under the British monarchy. Because every time you have a referendum out there, it's, do you want to get rid of the Queen? The other side answers by, yeah, but if you get rid of the Queen, what do you want? Do you want a presidential republic? Do you want a prime ministerial republic? Do you want something else? And the vote gets split between all those options, or the mind gets split between all those options, even when it's presented as a binary. So you prefer the system that you currently have. This is a sterile argument. Just give it back to whose it was before. Full stop.
Okay. Next. Shishir Vishwakarma. Well, Abhijit mentioned
Next.
this next. This is done. Richa Gautam. Political Hindu is just beginning to assert itself, right?
Political
Hindu
Hindus just
revivalism. Hindu revivalism is a continuous process due to the Guru Parampara. Shri Shri Sadguru, etc., have millions of followers worldwide.
right now. I don't care how many followers they have worldwide or how good their institutions are. I am only concerned about how many followers they have in India and what they are doing institutionally to reverse it. Okay, Sri Sri Sadguru and all this Guru Parampara, fantastic. What are they doing institutionally to reverse anything? Nothing. The people like Asaram and Lakhanananda who are actually doing something to reverse it get killed.
Okay, next, Thakur Jaipal Singh. Guruji Pranam, Abhijit ji. It is learned that you were a hardcore communist till 12. Well, and a committed socialist till 27. What made you to turn to right wing, sir? Need an honest answer. But everybody is a communist till he's 25. What's new in that? I would be surprised
Yeah.
if one isn't.
Well, look, I don't know why you think financial independence isn't important in this. To be a communist, you have to be a parasite. You need to be living off your parents. The moment you become financially, why are Indians still socialist? Why do I keep calling Modi a saffron communist? Because most Indians still, that joint family system, you depend on each other. Okay, for the last 20 odd years, I haven't taken a single dime from my mother or father. Of course, my father died, that's a different matter. So I can't take it unless he comes from, corporates himself from the other realm or whatever it is. but I haven't. So financial independence is extremely important. The second was, the more and more you read about sociology and anthropology, you begin to see the fallacy of the communist argument. It's so idealistic. When you're young, you tend to be extremely idealistic. You tend to fall for stories and narratives. Once you grow older, you fall for facts. If you go by facts, you can't be a communist. If you go by narratives, you can be nothing but a communist.
Next.
And that is where financial independence comes in, because once you start managing your own financial resources, that is the biggest fact check in life that you can ever have.
Abhijit Sudhakar. Hi, AIM. Don't you think Julian and Theodosius had the same DNA? By the way, serious question. Why you defend RSS statement, which clearly is danger to Hindus?
So I don't agree with the RSS. But Abhijit, think of it this way. What made you think that this was not what the RSS always believed? Every conversation in private I've had with the RSS, they've said the same thing in private also. So you are upset with them because they didn't say what you wanted them to say, even though they have never said what you wanted to say. This has been their line for a very long time.
From at least 93,
So I never
94.
expected
Yeah.
them. Yeah. So I've never, and 93, 94, I'm 77 born. So, in my political conscience, with respect to the RSS, only starts from that point of time. Right? So yeah, it's just one of those things. I don't know. Your question is like asking me, "Ki sir, I put the car into reverse gear and it went back. How dare it go back?" Obviously, when you
Anyway,
put the car into reverse
let's
gear,
move
it's only
on.
going to go back.
Let's move on to the next question. Suresh Gandham again. Abrahamics have 2000-year record of eliminating indigenous cultures. Future might evolve very non-linearly against our interest. Hard power wins, not Vishwaguruism. Not taking this seriously is downright a death wish. Basically, he's agreeing with you. So I don't think we, you can just
Yes.
say yes or
Just
something
to
short.
add one. Yes, just to add one thing to it, in military we have a general. I'm not military, but generally in military jargon you have this thing: you prepare for the worst and hope for the best. In India, we prepare for the best and hope for the best, which never happens.
Next, Arnav Kumar. Hello, AIM. The Indian state has systematically destroyed the intellectual prowess of the Hindus. Our temples captured and exploited, our saints powerless, our families broken down systematically. How will we fight back? So he's asking for a solution.
First, give them the temples back. Give us our temples back. No bloody arguments on this. This has to be done now. Number one. Second, uh, government should be staunchly secular, because remember, it is precisely the minorities that exploit this dharma nirpeksh bullshit. We don't need extra help. We just need to get rid of these extra sops given and these privileged whatever given. What YS Jagan is doing in Andhra should be completely bloody illegal, and you have to make it illegal for everybody. You can't say Indic religions get some special leeway. We don't need that. We're strong enough. We're resolute enough. Get rid of it. Number three, you have to ensure a state monopoly on violence and the absolute and consistent application of the law. Not be the protection of Hindus must not be based on the electoral fortunes of the BJP. Right now, Hindus are condoms for the BJP. मरे तो मरे साले, पर हमको वोट मिलना चाहिए. अगर वो बहुत गुस्सा हो गए तो हमको ज्यादा वोट मिलेगा. That's not the way it works. So three things: monopoly of violence, absolute secularism, return, give back unto Hindus what is Hindus.
Okay, next. Nishikant Reddy. Quite interesting and fruitful conversation. Aim your top suggestions to save Hinduism. I think you just said it.
I just gave it. Yeah.
Three suggestions he made. Sanatani Hindu. Isn't RSS a substitute for a theological Hindu institution?
It was Guru Hejevar Golwalkar. They were. Where do you see that today? Where do you see that today? There is none. And why is there none today? It is the same reason that the last set of brilliant, truly brilliant bureaucrats we had started retiring around the 80s and 90s. By the 90s, we had all dunce bureaucrats. Sorry, with all due respect to you, Sanjay ji, I don't
Sorry,
mean
I
that
don't
as a
agree with
personal
you.
jibe.
The last one of them retired in
Because
2020.
yeah, because I damn my own both my parents by that statement. But anyway, they were British trained pre 1947, or that training, that mental training stayed for a while after that into the 50s and 60s to a point of time. Once the Nehruvian mindset, remember it takes 20 years to create a mindset. Post 47, by about 67, that full on Nehruvian mindset had completely captured. The RSS is now incapable, humanly incapable, institutionally incapable, individually incapable of being that kind of. You'll read Savarkar even today, he is relevant. Okay. Not so. I mean, some of the ideas may be outdated. The nuance might be outdated, but the core argument is still relevant. आज कहाँ है? They can't even make a theological argument. They can't even argue intelligently theologically today. You get a very banal, low-level discourse. अब क्या करें? This is what I'm telling you, that seizure of Hindu temples destroyed the intellectual capital, core from which everything came. The sun went dark one day. That was it.
Well, their standard reply is to any searching questions that you might ask is, well, if you don't like us, make another organization.
Yes, which is a very stupid answer to give.
Yeah, my answer to them always is that I don't like MIM also. So what should I do? I criticize MIM. So should I make another MIM to be able to criticize them?
You should. You should. What Bharat Ved Prakash? What about
Okay,
Pew Research,
Prakash.
which
What
says
about Pew Research?
the
It
number
says
of
the number of folks leaving Hindu fold are same as moving in.
Yes, very good question. The thing is, I'm not seeing that on the ground. Apparently, this conversion back is happening in Gujarat or Maharashtra. I haven't seen pinpointed where this reconversion is happening, which is why I'm very suspicious about it. Because if you tell me about Christian conversions, I can nail it down for you where it's been happening in the last whatever years. In 47 onwards, the Northeast, in the last 15, 20 years, the Coromandel belt going into the Malabar belt as well. Punjab, again, another hotbed of conversion that you're seeing. Okay, with Muslim conversion, Bengal, UP. UP more forcible and things like that. Like, it's the old British, the land enclosure system. There it was the state, the nobles doing the land enclosure. Here it's thugs doing the land enclosure thing. Read up enclosure of land in Britain, 1700s, a history or something like that on YouTube. You should find videos about it. I don't know if they're YouTube videos. I'm sure there must be YouTube videos about it. Check it up. So in UP, it's a different trajectory. In Bengal, it's a different trajectory, but it's there. Now you tell me, where is this Hindu reconversion happening? Show
Well,
me
I
where it's
know
happening.
I know a lot about it. So I'll post it to you separately.
Okay.
Yeah. Nishikant Reddy, Sanjay sir, what's your top suggestions to save Hinduism? Well, I agree with the three solutions that Abhijit has given. And my fourth suggestion is that, of course, in the information age, uh, there can be, you can build institutions to push your narrative. And that is something that in this uh, if we call about, for instance, we're talking about gurus and theologians and things of that kind. In the information age, you can probably mutate it and have a Hindu institution, which doesn't necessarily have to be a sant, to push your narrative. That's what a lot of others are doing. Look at what is Zakir Naik.
Yeah.
Zakir Naik, for instance, I'll just give you this example. Zakir Naik is not a theologian. All the Hanfis here, because he is Ahle Hadith, all the Hanfis here denounce him. And what do they say? They never talk about what he's saying. They will always say, well, he is not authorized. That you have to understand the Islamic nuance of taqleed. So therefore, we have to have, and I think as far as narrative building is concerned, there seem to be a lot of fledgling efforts, but well directed. There are also a lot of people on the ground as well, not necessarily uh, from the Sant Parampara. Next.
Yes.
Please, my question, please, I will unsubscribe. भाई साहब आपका क्वेश्चन क्या है तो बता दीजिए. Malik Fitness sir, Jai Shri Ram. Abhijit Iyer eat beef and posted on Twitter insulting Hindu. Is he Christian? No, he's not Christian. He is Charvak sect of Hinduism. Dharmo Rakshati Rakshita. And Charvakas are quite
Yes.
nasty, if you can go back into histories. But they were still
Yes.
considered Hindu,
Because
despite of being very nasty.
yes,
Sanatan
exactly.
never gave them
Um,
up.
I'm actually I'm actually giving you, I'm doing you a favor because the more and more you expose your weak points, the more and more you'll get attacked. Man up, grow a dick, and take it. Stop behaving like a Muslim with Charlie Hebdo. Are you a Muslim, Malik Fitness? Because you sound like one. You sound like somebody that will go bomb Charlie Hebdo. Grow a dick.
Okay. Unpronounceable. Abhijit ji, how does missionary and big corporation nexus work? Does the church help them generate revenue or is it something else?
There isn't really a big corporation missionary nexus. It's more of a high disposable income missionary nexus that ties to the church. And then what happens is they get, like for example, that idiot Devdutt Patnaik. He was what religion advisor to the future group. Future का तो future ही चला गया, पर वो चुतिया ने अपना धंधा बना के रखा है ये करके. So it's like that. It works on the thing that you come and provide religious consultancy, well-being consultancy for your whatever, and then you get large corporate donations and things like that. It happens a lot in the American South, less so in the North and things like that. But yes, it is an issue because all of that money, because they have very good social security systems, comes here. So you're looking at an American disposable income, a huge American disposable income. Okay, you look at just the Western countries alone, that's 900 million people total. 360 million in America, another 300 more, 400 odd million in Europe, plus a few hundred million combining Canada, Mexico, Australia, and all of that. Average disposable income of what I call the Westosphere, first world, largely Christian countries, is about $43,000. 1.1 billion people total in the Westosphere. Say about 900,000 are Christian, 900 million. At $43,000, the amount of disposable income you have is massive. You're fighting with 1.3 billion Indians with with an income of $2,000 per capita to $3,000 per capita, real, not a PPP. Isme, it is a complete imbalance. And even in this $2,000 per capita, you are not allowed to spend your own religious money for your own religion. It gets taken away by the government to do what the government damn well wants to please with it.
Okay, next. We are at, okay, 1.5 hour mark. So we end. And thank you, Abhijit. And we have to continue with your perspective on Islam. That will be some other time. So if you can give me a date today,
हाँ
that will
जी,
be fine.
अगले हफ्ते करते हैं. हाँ हाँ, अगले
Saturday?
हफ्ते करते हैं ना. हाँ, sure, done.
Saturday, 10 p.m. So Saturday, 10 p.m.,
Yeah,
we will discuss
yeah.
Islamic conversion effort and what would that impact be? That would be easier, actually. That doesn't exact the brain as much as the Christianity does. So thank you
I'm
very
just
much, all
surprised you think
viewers.
that Christianity. Huh. La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah.
Thank you, and good night, everyone. Jai Hind, Vande Mataram, Jai Shri Ram.